to Super Marvel Brothers, the Marvel Cinematic Universe recap podcast.
The only Marvel Cinematic Universe recap podcast that you should be listening to.
There you go. Do you want to say spiel?
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's kind of lost its luster now that you're not attacking me for it.
You know.
All right, we are here to get you ready for the greatest cinematic event in the history of human existence and probably for the rest of human history, Marvel Infinity War, which comes out in May. To do that, we are watching every Marvel Cinematic Universe movie in the chronological order of the universe.
This week was Thor: Dark World.
Should we say our names, or are we just gonna?
Oh, I'm Connor.
Hey, I'm Brendon. Okay.
Sorry.
All right, now we can go on.
Thor: Dark World.
You know, some people say that the night is darkest before the dawn. I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe has the Dark World before the dawn.
No, I think what it is like it was starting to get brighter, and then that cloud moved in. And it was like, oh man, just when it was getting bright.
Yeah. So this movie, directed by Alan Taylor.
Yeah.
Did a lot of Game of Thrones episodes. When I looked at this thing, not a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows. This came out in 2013. You see this in theaters?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I also saw this one in theaters. Should we just dive into it?
Yeah.
Alright, so the movie starts off where you kind of get this neat visual of the 9 realms converging the last time the convergence happened.
And Odin...
Nope. Bor.
Was it Bor?
Yeah, well, Odin's narrating.
It was Odin narration.
Odin is narrating, I'm sorry. Well, you just said Odin. And then you kind of
Odin magic.
Odin magic. Yeah, we're just so used to Odin magic. Feel it happen.
Yeah.
We get this scene from the last convergence where we have Malekith and the Dark Elves fighting to control the ether.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting Bor, which is
Odin's father,
so Thor's grandfather in this grand fight, and eventually Bor takes it. And when you have what we eventually find out is Infinity Stone, you put it in the safest place possible between 2 rocks.
Between 2 rocks, underground. You know, no one's going to look for 2 rocks underground.
Somewhere where I could easily stumble upon it in a major metropolitan area on Earth.
You know.
Like London.
Yeah.
Nothing ever's happened in London in the history of the world.
No. So, we move on to... What is it?
We come back to we're back at Asgard now. We kind of get that. I'm sorry. We get the fight scene.
The fight scene? Oh!
No! I'm sorry. No, we're in Asgard first. Then we go to the fight scene.
Man, we can't even. We watched this like 10 minutes ago. We can't even.
So here's the deal with this movie. The first half is awful.
Really bad.
The second half's not bad.
We're gonna try to zoom through it because it's so bad.
Yeah. Anyway, we get to the throne room. Loki's in chains. So we're assuming this movie takes place at about the same time as Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
He's answering for his crimes, and basically, Odin gives down the ruling that he is going to be in the dungeon for the rest of his days.
Which is a long time for Asgard, as we learn, is like 5,000 years.
Yeah. So that's a long time to be just sitting in a dungeon reading the same book over and over.
Yeah, you know.
And it also comes to the reveal that Thor will become the king.
Yeah, he's in line to be the king now.
But he's not king yet because he has to deal with all the crap that Loki started with all this thing. Which
Loki
isn't really explained how he started this.
You know. Loki apparently is somehow responsible for the wars across the 9 realms. Mm-hmm. So that happened.
So we zoom into this other world. I don't even remember the name.
It's like Valheim or something.
Yeah, we'll go with Valheim. And we see this fight scene. We see the Warriors 3 and Sif doing this. They're doing okay, and then Thor comes and, just Thor things.
Pretty much carries the show.
Yeah, throws stuff, uses some lightning. We get this really cool scene with this rock monster where it looks like big, intimidating, and then Thor uses his hammer and just destroys it.
One-shots it, and it's totally murder, like slaughter.
Yeah, it's just a pile of rocks.
Rock pudding.
It's really funny if you've seen Thor Ragnarok because there's a rock monster like that in the movie, and he kind of becomes friends with Thor.
I haven't.
Oh, spoilers. But let's talk about the real question here.
Which one?
So we then cut away after this fight scene. Everyone's kind of rebuilding. Do you think anyone just picks up the rock monster's body?
I can only hope.
And just mortars it into their house as walls?
I can only hope. That'd be like making a body and they're like, I need something for the roof. Time to skin some people. Like, that's the equivalent.
Do you think it smells after a little bit? Like they just use it?
Rocks.
And it's just like, what's that rotting smell?
What's that rotting rock smell? Oh man.
He then uses the Bifrost. Find out the Bifrost is fixed.
Bifrost is repaired.
Even though there was a big deal that they
Heimdall
never
has a job again.
There was a big deal that they would never be able to use again after the first one where he breaks it. But hey, we're good now.
Magic.
Odin magic. There's a lot of Odin magic in the first
Yep.
half of this movie. We get a shot at Heimdall. We're back in Asgard, kind of going around seeing everything. We see a cool Raven shot with Odin.
Yeah.
But then we get the useless, you didn't say it was useless. You said it was the marketing ploy.
Yeah, the trailer bait where it's just Thor bathing, and it's like that doesn't add anything to this movie.
Solid, what, 15, 20 seconds of shirtless Thor?
Yeah, which I mean, no one's complaining, but it's just like, why?
Yeah, it didn't add anything to the story. And then we come back to they're at a festival.
They're eating, they're celebrating.
They have another.
They bring back the meme.
They bring back another. Oh, we forgot the meme of the movie.
Oh, what was it? You die here? Or
No,
something?
it's Odin saying your birthright, and then a super long, awkward pause.
Birthright.
So when Loki's going to prison, they go to Odin. He says something like "my birthright," and then Odin just yells "your birthright," and there's like a really dramatic pause.
Yeah.
So here's your meme. Send them to us. Take that screenshot of that scene in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Put your birthright, and then just put something random in there.
Hey, your birthright is tacos.
Yeah, just Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah. So Thor tries to sneak away during this thing, runs into Sif. Sif's like, have a drink with me. He's like, no, I got other stuff I gotta do. Goes to Heimdall, and Heimdall's like, oh, you should be more concerned with blah, blah, blah. And Thor's like, yeah, whatever. Let me go see my human girlfriend. Who he hasn't seen in 2 years.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that part there.
Yeah.
I also have in my notes the subtitle of this movie is Thor 2, aka But Why? Because looking at my notes, I have at least probably 15 questions that never get answered in the movie.
No, why would they?
Yeah, so we cut back to London. That's where Natalie Portman's character, what's her name?
Jane Foster.
Jane Foster. There. See, that's how bad this first half of the movie is.
Yeah, Jane Foster's in London now with Darcy, and they have an intern for the intern.
Yeah, they got a new intern. Why is there a new intern?
Yeah, how do they have the funding for a new intern?
Well, they said they're not getting paid, but why?
I don't know.
We then cut to we have the one news scene of Selvig naked at Stonehenge.
Yep.
Why is he the only one that's crazy?
I don't know.
Why isn't Hawkeye going like that?
Yeah, Hawkeye should be absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, like there's nothing there. Well, do I have one more? No, that's all I have for right now.
Okay, so Jane Foster's on a date, and she's like trying to meet new people since Thor left. And then Darcy comes in and is like, "Oh wow, yeah, you were a real mess till a few days ago. Glad you're out meeting people. We got to go investigate this thing."
It's supposed to be funny. It's not. Like
it's just like, wow, Darcy's a horrible person.
Darcy just comes in, starts eating the food, like saying like all these terrible things.
And it was like a nice restaurant too.
Oh yeah, it wasn't.
It
I think
like a
they show it
bar.
later in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a decent restaurant. They go to this abandoned warehouse, I guess it is,
Yeah.
where there's a floating truck.
Yeah, they meet these like punks or whatever, and they're like, "Oh no,
They
check
got
it."
punks. They just kids.
Yeah, whatever. Well, what's the difference?
Okay.
And they're like showing gravity's all messed up, and that you throw things certain places and they just disappear, and then they might reappear, and then sometimes they don't.
and they throw the keys in there,
Yeah,
and they
throw the
don't
key-
come
the
back.
Dumb intern for the intern throws the keys in.
Do we even know the name of him?
It's like Ian or
Alright.
Ethan or
Who
something.
cares?
And
He's never coming back.
then Natalie Portman gets sucked into a portal where she's surprisingly finds 2 rocks.
Finds the Infinity Stone Oreo.
Yeah. What?
The Infinity Stone Oreo.
The Infinity Stone Oreo's now infinity flavored.
She looks at it, and here's another question: why does it go inside? Why does it go inside at Natalie Portman?
You know.
Why does their ship activate as soon as it goes inside, like that second?
I don't know. Can we just do this whole thing instead of summarizing the story? Just ask questions.
Yeah, I mean,
because these questions are kind of summarizing
no.
the story.
Here's the problem: we don't get these questions answered. That's why it's an issue.
So the Infinity Stone like goes inside. Oh, spoiler alert! The Aether's an Infinity Stone. If you didn't know.
The Reality Stone.
Yeah, the big one, really.
Yeah.
Kind of the big one. So goes inside her. It's for some reason host, like she's its host now. Whatever.
But that second that it goes inside her, the dark elf ship that's been sleeping for 5,000 years, just suddenly everyone wakes up. It's like, oh hey, we found the stuff again.
Yeah, whatever. Then Heimdall's all like, oh, well, I can't see your girlfriend. So then Natalie Portman is like, why are the cops here? She goes outside and Darcy has cops all around. He's like, why'd you call the cops? He's like, you were gone for 5 hours. And she's like, what? And then it starts raining, but not around Darcy and Natalie Portman or Jane Foster or whatever, because Thor showed up and he controls rain now.
Yeah, why is it rain when Thor shows up? Usually, in the Avengers we got thunder and lightning. I got that.
Yeah, makes sense.
But now it's just it didn't rain before when he dropped in on the fight.
No. I guess he just has a flair for the dramatic.
Is he a was it thespian actor now?
Thespian.
Is that what?
I watched many soap operas on my last stay.
I believe actually the other Hemsworth brother is a big Australian soap opera star.
That is amazing.
I'm like 90% sure that's a thing.
Wow, so we have Hemsworth. Oh wow, like Thor. Well, his brother's Thor.
Yo, but he's the star of Australia, so
yeah, whatever.
So like 7 snakes don't want to kill him.
Okay. Thor shows back up and he's like, "Hey, something's up with you. We gotta go."
Yeah, they try to arrest Natalie Portman's character, and she uses this explosion.
Like supernovas.
Yeah, supernovas. It's almost literally. It reminded me a lot of X-Men 3 with Dark Phoenix or Phoenix or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know, that new one's coming out. I don't know what they're gonna call it now.
Yeah, it's where she just kind of like makes a small explosion and all the cops get flung back and then Thor's like, well, something's up. We gotta go. Bifrost's out. Takes half a car with him.
Yeah, it takes half a car. I love that Heimdall when he's like bringing it back, like has to move his head so he doesn't get hit with it.
That's pretty good.
And now we're back at Jane Foster's in Asgard.
Welcome to Asgard.
Yeah. She gets a nice change of clothing with it.
Yeah, some Asgardian clothing. She gets like examined on their like what they call it a soul forge, and she's like, "Is this like a quantum field transplacer?" And they're like, "No, it's a soul forge." And he's like, "Does it take energy and display it somewhere else?" And
yes.
Like, yes. He's like, "It's a quantum field generator or whatever it was."
Nerd.
Yeah. And then Odin comes in, and there's kind of a funny part where she's like, he's saying all this crap about her, and she's like, "Who do you think you are?" He's like, "I'm Odin, all father of all the realms." He's like, "Oh,
that's good."
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But yeah, Odin's big issue is he says she's mortal, she's a human, she shouldn't belong here. She gets sick, they die. That's what humans do. Mm-hmm. Which I brought up during the movie. Actually, we skipped this, but so we said Asgardians live for 5,000 years,
roughly, yeah. And
the average lifespan of humans, what, like 85 now? Is that what it is?
Yeah, something like that.
So would a marriage with Jane Foster to Thor be a one-night stand?
Probably be like maybe like a 1-year relationship.
Yeah, it's like
hey, that was a nice fling we had.
I don't think it's a year. It's like a month.
I mean, grand scheme, but whatever.
Yeah. So just throwing that out there. Time's weird.
Yeah. Hey, that's Doctor Strange.
Yeah, we'll get to that. As Odin's trying to get him out of there, they try to remove her. She does the explosion thing again.
Yeah. Then Odin's like, okay.
Okay, maybe you've got a point here.
Yeah.
And we get this really cool scene where they show the world tree.
Yggdrasil.
Gesundheit.
Yep. There's a Y in there.
But they show the world tree because I'm American, so I'm going to say it in English.
Because we live in America.
But it's a really cool shot. They kind of like, it's almost
holographic?
Holographic. I can speak. I'm not even half a beer in yet. So.
They have it's kind of holographic, and they have like the different worlds and stuff in the branches. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool scene, and then we get the story about kind of the backstory of the Dark Elves, which is a super generic plot that there was a world before, there was things before the universe. That's where the Infinity Stones came in. Which I guess if you don't know anything about the Infinity Stones, you got that now.
Yeah.
But it's like real generic. Like they want to take this back to make the world
like,
dark again.
Like it's like why? They seem to do fine in the light.
Yeah, it literally so many questions.
Anyway, and then what happens next?
Can I talk another question?
Sure.
So first off, the eighth year does change the law of physics. I want to point that out there.
Yes.
Don't really see a ton of that in the movie of it actually changing physics.
Yeah, it's like the convergence is causing these physics changes.
Well, that's what we're led to believe, but this thing's supposed to change reality. It doesn't really. So pointing that out there.
And the only thing I can think of is like towards the end when the whole like grand fight is happening, like there is this like sort of like big swirly thing happening. It's like, does it take time to do it?
No one knows.
Because
another question.
I feel like it's an Infinity Stone. It shouldn't have to.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
Because I think this movie's the forgotten stepson of the MCU at this point.
Probably.
We cut back to Malekith. Do you want to talk about Malekith? You had like a little crush on this guy last week. Or at least the actor.
Malekith is played by Christopher Eccleston, who, if you don't know, played the 9th Doctor in Doctor Who, and he was a good Doctor. He was only around for 1 season, which is a short run, but he's really sassy, he's really funny, he did a lot well. So I was excited to see that he was like going back into like filming. I haven't seen him in many things. I don't know if he did like other stuff, like more local British TV shows that don't necessarily get over here to America. But it's kind of cool to see him like in the MCU, because I'm like, oh man, like it's Christopher Eccleston, that's cool.
And he's covered in makeup the whole time.
Well, I mean, hey, he was a great actor for the Elf because he already had wicked huge ears. So
do you think that was the one criteria when they were picking?
It probably helped. It was like, oh, I like Christopher Eccleston. His ears would be easy.
No prosthetics needed for the ears.
Well, you need to put points on them. So like, go to the store, get some like flour foam, and just like glue them on there. But besides that, it's probably pretty accurate to life size.
So we cut back to Malekith. He's got his minion. I don't think he has his name. His minion there.
No, he does not get a name.
And he gives him this like stone thing, which we saw in the opening scene. That if they crush, they turn into basically a mini.
Yeah, they turn into cursed. But wait, it's with a K.
Oh, now I get it.
Cursed with a K.
So they actually cut into the minion and throw this stone inside, which leads to my next question. How did he get captured by the Asgardians?
Yeah, they just kind of like, so that scene happens and then like they send ships out and the next thing we know, this guy's getting pulled into the prison of Asgard. It's like...
From the Bifrost.
Yeah, it's like, why?
We have no idea how he got there.
It's not like they sent him to a world, he caused some trouble with some people and it was like, alright, so these guys are getting arrested.
It's just captured.
Yeah.
So he goes into the prison. We see our scene of Loki there in the prison, and he's having a conversation with his mom.
Right.
Well, what do you? We kind of talked a little bit about this. It's then so he has this conversation about his mom. They're kind of going back and forth, and then he kind of puts his hand straight through her like she goes away.
I guess it was her illusion.
She has that power. We see that in the movie.
Where he learned it.
So, but it's kind of interesting. Like, do you think he was actually having a conversation with his mom, or do you think he was just, like, so distraught?
I don't know. I don't know if it was, like, he just wanted to play it out, or what. It's kind of not clear.
I like the idea...
It'd be different if, like, their magic had different colors.
Yeah, sure, they have the same colors. Which, again, not his biological mom, so there's no reason the colors have to be the same, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Unless it's a technique.
Yeah, and it could be a technique, but, like, I feel like just for visual clarity... Mm-hmm. It's like, make hers like yellow and his green.
I think it'd be... I think I'm going to lean that it was actually his mom because it makes that scene later where he uses that trick a little more believable.
Yeah, it does.
But also, I mean, I think it still works even if you say it wasn't and he's just like gone that like obsessed with what's going on.
So there's this whole dramatic scene there. And,
they put the people in the prison.
Yeah.
Jane Foster's introduced to his mom.
Yeah.
And then the elf hits the stone and turns into this giant battle thing. Which, again, why does holding someone's face against the screen break it?
You know, I don't know. Because you think everyone would try that? Just
I mean, it
rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, it looks painful, but, like, just get the weakest guy to do it. It's fine.
Rock, paper, scissors. You lost. Your face goes against it.
So this guy just...
Well, no, here's the weird thing. He holds his face against it, then punches it, and it breaks. But after that, all he has to do is punch them.
I'm going to say they were stronger on the inside than the outside.
Sure.
We're grasping at straws here, man.
We're discussing the strength of Asgard cages right now.
Other thing about the elf here is a kind of a Predator knockoff.
Yeah, like when he has this mask on and then he transforms, the mask kind of becomes part of his head. Mm-hmm. And I think it looks cool.
I mean, I'm not saying it looks bad, but like the entire thing,
it looks like the horns and stuff and the mouth. It is kind of Predator.
It looks very similar to the Predator. So they're going through. He's breaking people out of the prison. He sees Loki. He's about to break Loki out, but then doesn't.
And then Loki says, "Hey, you might want to take the stairs."
So Loki kind of helps him out, which plays a little bit more later in the movie. So it's a little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
We get the scene. Frigga is with Jane Foster. Malekith has gotten into it. Oh, we missed the scene where... Oh, we're skipping ahead. I'm sorry.
We're so excited to get through it.
Yeah, I just want to get through this scene. There's a lot of repetition there. There's a lot of like the flight scenes and all that.
Yeah, so there's this part where like the ships are coming in to the city. Heimdall can't see him, well, until they're like right by him, and then really sweet scene.
Heimdall is a scene stealer in this movie.
Heimdall is always this really awesome character that does not get used in the first two movies.
Okay, I'm glad you said the first two movies.
Because, like, well, he gets used more in this one than he does.
He does.
Because there's a sweet, like, one of the ships is going by, like, one of the fighters, and he just, like, runs up the Bifrost, like, rails, and then jumps in with 2 daggers, takes the ship out.
Takes a whole spaceship down with 2 daggers.
Now, granted, there's, like, 7 more, but...
But it's pretty sweet
it's
that one
really
guy
awesome.
could do it by himself.
Yeah.
So we get this, Asgard's under attack. We have... the elf ships, I think, are actually really well done. I like how they fly.
They're kind of like swords.
They're swords. They're cutting through parts of the city. The way when they're being shot at, they turn in 90-degree angles.
Yeah, because they're very thin. It's cool.
It's cool. I like that design. That's, again, I'll give them props for that.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ships goes straight through all these defenses. Oh, we forgot about the Naboo shields.
Oh, yeah, so Heimdall apparently has the key to the city, because he just sticks his sword in the thing and it does whatever he wants. Because he sticks his sword in, like, the, like, switch, and it starts the castle shields, which are totally just the shields from Episode 1 of Star Wars.
My belief is Natalie Portman wanted to feel more at home, so they just did the entire second half of Episode 1 during this scene.
Yeah, so the shields start to slowly come up, and then...
Just like the Gungan shields.
Big monster dude, like, breaks the shield generator.
That was the actual sound effect of the movie. He wasn't
weird.
acting.
Like, everything's pretty high quality, and then it just, like, literally, let me play the clip again, it just goes... And it's like, why is that... Like, that's just someone making that noise. I didn't get it.
And the shields go down. One of the ships crashes straight through the throne room, landing Malekith and his soldiers there. And I like how petty Malekith is. They've got like this anti-matter
grenades, yeah.
And he just tosses it at the throne. He's like, "There's no one here, but I just don't want you to have that."
Yeah, absolutely. And Malekith goes searching for Natalie Portman's character, which there's this fight scene in the. It's actually really cool because like the fight scene's going out, and then Odin kind of comes in after the bath. And there's just one dark elf left. And he just, like, zaps him with Gungnir, which is his spear.
I don't understand how, over thousands of years, like, everyone, it seems, the Asgardians fight have guns, yet they still keep their sword and shield.
Honor.
Yeah, but guns.
Honor.
But guns.
Honor.
Okay, you got me on the third one.
Viking honor. So, and then Malekith and Big Brute kind of come into the room that Freyg is in.
I am Brute.
Kind of come into the room that Freyg and Natalie Portman's characters are in. And, like, is totally, like, Thor's mom is really awesome.
They really wasted Renee Russo in both these movies.
Because she is, like, so, like, just the fight scenes with her where she's in it is, like, She
got a lot better than the first movie.
Well, the first one she took a dude out with one hit, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, in this one she's actually showing good technique, all that.
Yeah,
then she gets captured.
She like beats the crap out of Malekith.
Yeah, he gets a nice cut on his face, and she gets captured, and they find out that Natalie Portman's character has been an illusion the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So they stab her.
Yeah, they kill her.
Which the cool scene after that is Thor must have been like half a second away when that happened. Because you just see a lightning bolt zap Malekith in the face. And we get this cool scene of him hitting things with his hammer. A couple things I don't agree with. He does hit the Brute in the back of the shoulder with the hammer, and it doesn't seem to faze him at all.
Dark elf magic?
I don't think that's a thing. We already have way too much of the crap in this
I don't know. That's the only thing. I mean, Mjolnir's supposed to be this, like, unstoppable force.
I mean, it knocked the Hulk out.
Yeah,
not knocked out, but it like
down.
It knocked him to the floor. You're telling me if I hit him directly in the back, it's not going to shatter anything?
Yeah.
So they escape through the portal or whatever they were using.
No, they jump off into like one of the stealth fighters, and then they take off.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah. See, that's not even well explained. This movie's.
And then
why?
Yeah, but why? Thor, but why? And then there's the whole thing with essentially the next like 10 to 15 minutes is just Thor and Odin arguing over what to do.
Well, we have the funeral.
Yeah,
which is
we
a
do
nice
have the
scene,
funeral, which is nice.
where we have the Gungan spears going.
Episode 1?
I'm telling you, Natalie Portman pushed for it. She saw the success it had and said, "We need to do this." Because this movie's about as good as episode 1.
No, it is a nice scene though. And then
the only problem is you're supposed to feel like the music makes you feel. We've only seen Rene Russo for maybe 10 minutes in 2 movies.
Yeah.
The character's not developed enough for that. Like, I understand what they're trying to do. Like, by
Like if it was
association,
Odin, you'd almost be like, okay.
even Odin doesn't seem that torn up when you see him at the funeral.
No, Anthony Hopkins might have been doing it for the paycheck. Let's not lie.
Anthony Hopkins did phone it in this movie.
Yeah, so we get the funeral, and then it's Thor and Odin arguing for the next, 10 minutes over what to do.
Yeah, so Thor's idea was, let's get Malekith... If Malekith wants us, let's go to another world, the Dark World.
Mm-hmm.
Whichever... Do you know how to say it again?
Sveltenfein?
Yeah, that thing.
Sveltenmelt?
Yeah, the Dark World. So he says, let's go to the Dark World. We'll draw them out there. That way we can get him off guard and take him.
Yeah.
And the idea of saying we can save Asgardians. And Odin's kind of on the thing like, no, he's going to come back and there's going to be 10,000 Asgardians here to meet him.
Yeah. So it's like, well, do we, what do we do? And so Odin just pulls rank and is like, well, I'm king, so no, we're not doing that.
Well, and let's take this just a step further. This is almost a flip from the first Thor.
Absolutely. And
because the first Thor...
this is kind of where the movie starts to pick up.
This is where the movie, honestly, just cut the first part out and start this part of the movie. But in the first Thor starts the war. Mm-hmm. And Odin's one trying to keep peace. Now, Odin's like, yeah, let him come. We're going to fight. And he's like, you're risking all these lives. So you kind of see that a little bit of character evolution here. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm grasping at straws here, but at least it's a little bit of Thor character arc here.
Yeah. So that's nice. And then so they can't do it because it's treason or whatever to go against the king, right?
So now we get this covert operation where he gets the Sith and the Warriors.
He gets Heimdall involved.
Yeah, he gets Heimdall involved. Well, Heimdall always seems to be the guy's this is wrong, right? Yeah, okay, just so you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you do it, just so you know it's wrong,
too. As long as you know the consequences. So Heimdall gets in and he's like, look, I can't disobey the king. I have to report a treason. But it's kind of like, I'm gonna help you and report my own.
Mm-hmm. To buy you some time.
Yeah.
And then as they're doing this, Sif and the Warriors 3, they get Jane Foster out of her prison.
Yeah.
They get Loki, Thor, and her to the ship.
They get Loki out because Loki knows a hidden way to travel to other worlds.
Yeah, because
the Bifrost.
That's how he was able to escape after Thor 1. One thing I do want to point out here, we have that neat scene. They get there's 2 scenes I want to point out. We actually see then they go to Loki's cell. He has an illusion making everything looks good, but as soon as he
everything's put together, Loki's all fine, and then Thor's just okay, enough of the tricks, and it's just the cell is destroyed.
So you can tell he did care for his mother, which again would have been nice had they played more of that in either 1 or 2.
Yeah,
it's not really played a lot, but it is kind of neat to see that kind of side. Tom Hiddleston does play that part very well. But then the next scene is as he's going around, he starts doing the shape-shifting with Thor.
Yeah, because first it's an Asgardian guard.
Just an Asgardian guard. Then he turns Thor into Sif.
Yeah, and the Thor, which is a pretty funny line because Chris Hemsworth's voice still coming out Sif, and it's just even in this form, I will hurt you. It will hurt just as much.
And then Loki turns into Captain America, and that's a funny scene.
They got
it's Chris Evans.
Yeah, it's
Chris Evans in the Captain America suit. You want to have a rousing discussion about liberty and justice and feel that patriotism.
Yeah,
it's great. It's really funny because you hear Chris Evans doing this, being a caricature of himself.
I feel that was a day on set that had to be really fun because it was just okay, you get to make fun of your character.
Yeah, it's really a good scene.
Part of me hopes it wasn't scripted. It was just
there's no way that was scripted.
It was just all right. Make fun of Captain America, go.
You have 30 seconds. Make as much fun of Captain America as you can.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that was scripted.
Yeah.
But what's funny is right after that scene, Loki's saying, give me a dagger or something to protect myself, and they handcuff him right away.
Yeah.
And he's
which is funny.
I thought you liked tricks.
Yeah. So the whole plan is to buy as much time as possible, sneak onto the ship that's in the throne room, and take off.
Yeah, the elf ship that crashed in there. They do get it eventually going. They're flying.
Which Sif and the big guy, who I don't know his name, of the Warriors 3 plus Sif, both tell Loki, it's like, if you betray him, I'll kill you.
Could we maybe call the Warriors 3 plus Sif the Fantastic Four?
No, the Warriors 3 plus Sif.
Okay, just throw it out there. They're probably better in this movie than the other Fantastic Fours.
So, they get to the ship, and the big guy has to hold off like this whole fleet, and Thor's just trying to like get the ship started.
Thor and Loki are just arguing back and forth, which,
It's
as brothers,
too
I was like,
familiar.
yeah, that's exactly what would happen.
He's like, I thought you knew how to flex. I said, how hard could it be?
Stop slamming the buttons, just press them. I am pressing them.
I've pressed every button. He's like, well, stop hitting them and press them.
So they get the ship flying. They kind of tear apart. I like the scene. They actually cut off the head of Bor, like the statue of Bor. They cut his head
and
off.
Loki's just like, you cut your grandfather's head off. Good job.
And then out of nowhere, Thor pushes him out of the elf ship, and he jumps out into another ship. So they're chasing this elf ship, and Loki does kind of a daredevil thing to get them into another world, which, they get to the Dark World there, right?
Yeah.
How did he know he's going to the Dark World?
Who knows?
Because he's never been there that we know of.
I don't know. I don't pretend to know. Just let it happen at this point. So they go to the Dark World, where they have...
We missed something.
Did we?
We missed the Lee cameo.
Right! The Lee cameo where Selvig is in the, essentially, insane asylum.
Yeah, so Selvig gets arrested after running around naked in Stonehenge, as you do.
Hospital or something.
Yeah, mental hospital or something.
So he's, like, going on about, like, this is why this is happening. It's like, it looks like a lecture. And it's set up to look like a lecture.
And he's explaining exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
So he's basically
using shoes.
Yeah. He's basically giving the monologue, like, here's exactly what's happening, so in case you didn't get it.
Right.
And we get Stan Lee's also in the same hospital just saying, can I have my shoe back?
Which, not a bad one.
It got a nice chuckle out of it.
Okay, so back to where we were. Loki and Thor are in the Dark World with Jane Foster, and Malekith pretty much follows suit. He follows them.
Yeah, because apparently he's got a homing beacon on this Infinity Stone, which is not explained.
Yeah, who knows?
So Thor and Loki come up with this plan, and Loki then starts playing by saying, are you sure this is going to work? And he says, I'm sure it will. And then Loki suddenly just stabs Thor right away and pushes him down the hill. And the first thought in your head's like, okay, Loki...
Yeah, it's all coming.
Yeah, this is Loki. Like, Thor's the only person in the world that trusts Loki this much.
Yeah. Which, even though he states multiple times he doesn't trust him.
Yeah, he still, like, gives him the sword. He gets stabbed there, and then as he's calling his hammer back, Thor, Loki cuts his hand off.
Yeah, which is like, Malekith comes over, and Loki's just like, yeah, have that. Just give me a seat to watch Asgard burn. And then, whoopsie. Swiper dogged.
Yeah, it was just a Loki trick.
Yep, just Loki things. Cause
Loki magic.
It was all an illusion, and everything goes kind of snafu from there.
Yeah, so he's pulled the ether out, and as he's doing that, Thor pulls the hammer and uses his lightning because he thinks lightning is going to destroy this whole thing.
Which it appears to.
It does for a second.
And then it comes back together, and he gets it anyway.
Which again, there's like a solid 2 minutes where the thing's destroyed, and they're not doing anything. Why doesn't he hit anyone?
I don't know. So, Malekith does get the Aether. And then they kind of leave him deal with the Brute.
Yeah, so I really want to see Dark Elf versus Hulk. I feel like that'd be a fun fight.
Yeah, Cursed versus Hulk would be cool.
He's throwing Thor around. He throws a giant boulder at him. He's bashing him in.
Yeah.
So it takes... actually, Loki comes behind him and stabs him in the back, but it does not kill him.
And it's kind of a cool way to kill someone. Sword through the dude's chest. Grabs Loki and pulls him through the sword.
Basically bear hugs him onto the sword.
Yeah.
But as he's doing that, Loki pulls his anti-gravity...
Or antimatter
grenade and kills him, which you said has a very weird face.
Yeah, it's like so goofy, and then the eyes pop out, and it's like, okay, I guess it's supposed to be gruesome, but the eyes literally pop out and go... And it's like, what was that?
Again,
it's so cartoony.
We're not making sound effects up. It just makes that pop sound.
That time was not a goof. That time was not... The last time, I will admit, I'll break the fourth wall. It was a goof. This time was legitimate.
Just a little...
Yeah, just like... And it's so cartoony. But that gets rid of the brute, and then Thor has this moment of like Loki dying, and it's like no, and all this stuff.
Yeah, but we know
it's
he's
emotional.
not dead. Yeah, he's not dead. So they're stuck on this planet though. The ship's left. They don't know the path here. They go into a cave. They're trying
Jane Foster and Thor.
Jane Foster and Thor. They go into a cave and they hear this obnoxious ringtone.
And it's the date Jane was on her phone.
Richard,
which got thrown through a portal in England. So they kind of follow the trail of trash.
They follow the trash, and she just keeps saying like, "Don't hang up this phone. Don't hang up this phone."
And this guy's like, "Yeah,
all right, I made a good impression." And Thor's just like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah. So they come out in England. They have the keys to the car, which was left there, and they get in the car. And Thor just says, "So who's Richard?"
Poor Richard.
Hey, poor Richard.
Hey, that's I didn't even try.
Smart joke.
Hey, our 3 intelligent listeners loving that.
You mean our 3 listeners?
Yeah, our 3. Yeah, that's what I meant by 3 intelligent listeners.
So
anyway, they go there. The best scene possibly in the MCU happens then afterwards. They go into her apartment, and as Jane Foster's hugging everyone, saying hi, Thor just very casually hangs his hammer up on the hook like it's an umbrella.
Like that's the thing.
And it doesn't break, and it doesn't cause a giant rift in the earth because you have this super dense thing. No, it just hangs there, nice and dainty.
Peter Selvig doesn't wear pants, or Eric Selvig doesn't wear pants
because it helps him think. I mean, we've all been there,
I guess. So they kind of explain what's going on, and they figure out that they're going to come here for whatever reason.
Yeah, the
Convergence.
Divergent. That's not the same.
That's a different movie.
We're not going to get to that thing, thankfully. The Convergence is going to center surprisingly on London because, why would they need to travel for anything? Specifically, Oxford University.
Yeah.
So the plan is Selvig's invented these devices which cause abnormality. I don't even know if it's...
It's like it's supposed to detect it and then use them to cause them.
They're going to cause them. So they hammer them all around Oxford University, which... I don't think you could just randomly walk around Oxford like that.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward.
So they start doing that, and then the ship shows up, and kind of battle starts breaking out.
Yeah, you get this generic fight. Well, it's not even generic. I'll say it is kind of interesting because as the convergence is happening, you've got these portals opening up back and forth.
It's a cool fight scene, So
I wouldn't say it's cool. It's just different.
It's different.
So you have these dark elves would go in, then they end up on Jotunheim, and the giant frost
Beast.
bulldog thing comes
from the first one.
From the first one. Yeah, you remember that thing from the first movie?
You remember that? It's back.
It's connected.
Everyone's favorite monster. What's a Bildschnipe?
No one knows what a Bildschnipe is.
Show it. Hey, Marvel, Phase 1 wouldn't show butt. Well, no, you showed too much butt except for one time. Hey, man, phase 2 or Phase 3 or whatever we're in now, show me a Bildschnipe. Answer that question for me.
I've got some bad news for you.
Oh, no.
You're not going to see a Bildschnipe. I've seen Thor 3. I don't think there's one of those in there.
Okay.
But the fight goes on. The intern crushes a bunch of them with a car that's floating, which you brought up the point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if there's no gravity, you wouldn't be... I mean, yeah, okay, you could lift the car up. I don't think you could bring it down with enough force to crush anyone.
Yeah, because there's no gravity, so it has no weight, basically.
Yeah,
But it works, and he gets to make out with, what's-her-face? Darcy. I was trying to think the actress' name. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Eventually, the convergence happens, and he starts powering up or something. The convergence
the big, aether tornado.
He's reaching into the other, the worlds. You see, actually, the Bifrost get damaged a little bit, and they say, we can't get to him, and Thor's like, but I can. Which we have no way of knowing that. Yeah. Why does he think he can do that? Just to phrase it as a question.
So, So he takes, which by the way, about time you give a hammer-themed hero, pretty much, nails to beat someone with.
One more thing before you get to that. When the tornado starts, all the glass in Oxford University breaks, with every student at Oxford University looking at the windows.
Yeah.
How many people are blind now?
All of them. Okay.
As long as we're on agreement.
100% of them.
100%.
100%. Oxford University now becomes a school for the blind. So, he's reaching out to the other worlds. Thor goes in with 3 spikes, which he's like, this is actually kind of a cool way to beat a villain. It's like he throws one spike and it like hits the dude's hand, and the spike like activates and the hand disappears. And then he hits the other dude's arm and his arm disappears. Mm-hmm. And his arm lands in like the Dark World or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then he kind of just nails him with the third spike, and the rest of him disappears.
Just Martin Luther to him.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a deep cut if you got that.
Man. And he's like, day saved, I guess.
Well, he still has the ether, and you can see that he has that power.
Yeah.
But then the ship transports there for reasons.
Yep.
And crushes him, and apparently crushing a ship will kill him, though. Because the ether can't protect him from that. Even though it can
warp reality.
It can warp reality, but if a ship's falling on you, you can't do anything. It's not like it's a slow... I mean, it's... there's a lot here.
Thor, but why?
So, we cut away. It's been like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks afterwards. All the humans are eating. And I like this... I think Darcy's character says, don't worry, he'll be back.
Yeah.
He never sees them again.
Yeah.
They don't... spoiler alert if you haven't seen Thor 3. They're not in it. For good reason. So I just think that's funny. It's like, don't worry, he'll be back. He's not coming back.
So...
Cut away to Asgard.
Yeah.
Last one.
Thor has a nice little talk with Odin, and he's like... and Odin's like, you said there wouldn't be a king wiser than me, and I think they're wrong. You will be a wise king. And he's like, I don't want to be king. I'd rather be a good man than a great king. And Odin's like, I can't wish you good luck. I can't do all... Or no, he said something about like, oh, is that...
I can't give you my blessing, but if I were to say something...
If I could, I'd say I'm proud of you, pretty much. So, it was the whole thing. And then, plot twist.
It's Loki!
What happened to Odin? Apparently you find out in Ragnarok.
You find a little bit out in Ragnarok.
So...
You need to watch that movie.
Yeah, I gotta get on that.
Do you want to talk about the stinger at all?
It's a stinger.
It's a long stinger.
Yeah, they pretty much take the reality gem to, I'm calling it the reality gem, done calling it the ether.
That's fine.
They take the reality gem to the collector.
And it's actually, like, this might be the best reasoning of anything in the movie.
Yeah.
It's dumb to have 2 Infinity Stones in one place. Like, holy crap. Well, you know why? Because the director of the next movie does the stinger. So that's probably why it actually makes sense.
Yeah, probably. They're like, why are you bringing it here? Why not keep it in your vault? He's like, we already have the Tesseract. That's kind of dumb. And
then they said, well, they legitimately point out, it's dumb. You can't have 2 Infinity Stones in one place. Like, oh, okay, so that actually makes sense. That's a good call.
Guess who tries it anyway? The next one, Guardians.
Yeah.
A collector.
No, does he have 2 in there?
He tries to get the power gem.
Yeah, but I think the collector's weird. Like, he has a ship and a museum, and it's...
I don't know. Whatever.
It's weird. Just comic magic.
Yeah, whatever. Odin particles.
Was this the sloppiest story structure we've seen?
Oh my gosh. Nothing got answered. Nothing. No, nothing about the universe, the world, the characters got answered for me.
If this...
Motivations were weak.
Villains, blah... The only thing I'll give it credit, like I say, you say nothing the universe could develop. I mean, we get another Infinity Stone, so we know there's more than one. But honestly, had the Infinity Stone not been in there, I'm trying to look at like some movies that don't really. So we said like Iron Man 3 doesn't really build the cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Had the reality gem not been there, does this movie build a universe at all?
No. I mean, Dark Elves exist. The Collector exists if we count the Stinger.
Yeah, that's it. And then Odin's gone, I guess.
That's it.
This movie, and like I said, I said this movie's but why. There are so many questions that don't make sense. And I know I'm trying to say it's a fun comic book movie, but seriously, like just having this elf like get stabbed with this thing and say, okay, now go get captured, and then 30 seconds later he's captured without any plot or structure of why that happened. Ugh. This director does Game of Thrones episodes.
He does TV is the issue.
Yeah, but Game of Thrones is good, and like
they got a TV director to do a 2-hour movie, and corners were cut, I
think. Maybe.
So
this movie made a lot. I actually think it made a lot of money, but I think it's the lowest grossing Marvel movie.
I hope. Okay.
All right, let's put this pupper to bed.
Yeah. Let's. I just want to say right now, quick episode.
Quick episode.
So
yeah, I think
we're getting better.
No, I just think there's not a lot to talk about in this movie.
So,
as I said, this is the Dark World Before the Dawn, because we got a good stretch coming out after this.
Dark World Before the Dawn. Clever.
That's the title of the episode now.
No, it's Thor Dark World. That's what it's always titled.
It.
The
All
title of the movie.
Let's go over our patented shield scale that our scientists spent hours making in the laboratory. Do you want to go over the letters, or should I just do it quick?
I'll do it quick. So we got Shield, Scoundrel. How's the bad guy? Was he good? Did you like him? Was he charismatic? Was there anything redeeming about him? Boy, I'm sure you know our opinions about this one. The next one's Hero. How is a good guy? Same thing, pretty much. After that is Integrity. Does it hold up? You know, a lot of these movies are older, and we got to see if they're still entertaining to watch or bearable to watch. Entertainment. Was it fun? Lee! How was the Lee cameo? Probably the only redeeming thing about this film.
Yeah.
And development. Did it do anything? Did it add anything? Did it yes and or no but?
Did it subtract things? Can we go negative on our scale? Have we said that?
Can we get negative? Only if there was a movie that did actually time happened, we removed something.
So
negative.
So X-Men Days of Future Past?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, let's go over the Scoundrel. You got Malekith. He's your boy. I'll let you go first.
I thought it was really good. The leather jacket was fun. The big ears, the big teeth. He's a sassy dude. Didn't really get how he did with he was really sassy towards the companions. But talking about him as the elf, huh? Not the doctor?
Yeah, we gotta talk about the bad role.
Okay. There's no explanation as to why he wants to do what he does, except it's evil. And as I've said practically in every episode when rating the Scoundrel, I think one of the best things you can do with a villain is convince me that they think they are right in doing what they're doing. And you could have. You had that chance with this, because his kind of backstory was okay, why he wants to make the world darkness again, but why?
Well, you could even go that he has this feud with Asgardians because they stopped him before.
Convince me that what he wants to do is what he thinks is right, and they don't. It just feels like I'm evil, so I'm gonna be evil. Dude, just give him a 0.5.
0.5. So here's the one thing. Last week I was angry at Iron Man 3.
You were mad.
I was furious. Here's the thing. I think this is a worse villain, but I'm not angry. I'm just so apathetic, I don't even care. The backstory really doesn't make a lot of sense. There's no development. Like we said, we don't even know the names of the people he's working with.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go 0.52. I don't want to go lower than Iron Man 3 because I was just angry at the Mandarin thing. This one I wasn't angry. I literally don't want to give the energy to get angry. As my voice gets higher and is speaking faster, I don't want to give the energy to Malekith that I did to the Mandarin. All right, Hero. So how's Thor portrayed in this movie? So I said kind of those things. You get some character development in the movie.
Right.
You get that idea that he's kind of changed from where he was before to where he is now. But at the same time, it's just he still trusts Loki after all this crap. I know he's his brother in quotations and all that, but I just don't think you try to force his love interest, which goes absolutely nowhere. We
didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, because it goes nowhere.
Odin tries to push Sif onto Thor.
Yeah, Odin's trying to play matchmaker.
2 moments. There's Odin says, "Hey, you should focus on Sif," and then there's Sif saying, "We should get a drink," and that's literally it.
There's just so the original Thor I gave a 3 for Hero.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have that many cool attacks in here.
Yeah.
He's got some cool flying. I think 2.5. It's just...
Okay, I'm going to go against that.
Okay.
So, what I like about this Thor is that, well, first of all, he's Thor. In this movie, we're not playing with...
He's the mighty Thor!
Without powers and stuff, no. He's Thor, and he keeps his character growth from the first one. And that becomes very evident halfway through the movie. And it's kind of nice because he's less of this, headstrong, I'm gonna go in first and ask questions later and think about myself before others. And he does think, he's more concerned about seeing Jane Foster than partying with his friends, and he is more concerned about the lives of Asgardians and stuff. So I'll give him a little higher than what I gave him in Thor 1. I'll give him a 3.25.
Okay.
I like him better because his character development stuck.
Okay. I want to do this after the ratings, but I'm going to ask you a question after the ratings. Let's do these first, though. Integrity. Does this movie hold up at all?
Visually, I guess.
Okay, so here's the thing. When I saw this movie, I was like, okay, I know I'm not getting a great movie, but I think it's going to be enjoyable. You heard how many questions I had watching this critically. I mean, I have critical questions, and when we watch these movies again critically, I have questions every now and then.
Right.
Some of them can be answered and explained. Some of them can't be, and that's okay. I probably had more questions in this movie than the other 8 weeks we've done this together.
Literally 0 answers.
So, no, it's a 0.5. This movie does not hold up. It doesn't... There's terrible storytelling.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold up.
I mean, yeah, I have to agree. There's just... There isn't really... visually, if we're looking at visual effects, it's not bad. It's not the best.
Okay, you might be able to convince me with the visuals it goes to a 1. But even then, like, there's some scenes, like, I'm thinking...
I wouldn't even give it a 1.
I'm thinking that scene with Heimdall when the ships come in, that looks straight up from a PS2 game.
I love it. Because it's like that, like, stealth where it's, like, shifting air and stuff, and it's like, that's not stealth. Like, anyone can see that.
We just saw great stealth in the Avengers.
Yeah.
With the helicarrier, and then we see this, which is supposedly more
way more advanced. So
you know, no, I'm saying 0.5.
Oh, I'll probably join you there. It's not great. There's nothing like Iron Man. When we saw Iron Man 1, when we were thinking of it through the lens of it was, 2008 or whatever?
Yeah.
It's like, it looked good for 2008. And this was 2013, which was 5 years ago. Not even. And it's like, you know, it looked good, but it wasn't like blowing my mind. So.
Yeah, it's just kind of,
And, yeah.
I don't want to give this movie a lot of energy. That's why we're trying to
entertainment. Was it fun?
Were you entertained in this movie?
There were entertaining parts.
Give me 3 entertaining parts.
So, I will say the rock monster part was pretty entertaining.
Okay.
Like, that fight where he just like, I'll accept your surrender, was like, ah ha ha, boom,
right.
okay.
1.
I will say that the Thor and Loki on the ship was entertaining. I enjoyed them, like, going back and forth.
2.
Okay.
And I'm going to lump that whole scene with the big guy, too. Like him fighting all the Asgardians, and he thinks he can hold them off, and he's just like, okay. But I'm lumping that in there.
That's fair.
2.
That's fair. 3, I will say the final fight, but not between Thor. Between the humans and the Dark Elves, because it was kind of cool to see him, like, teleport and stuff.
I wasn't entertained with that, I don't think.
Okay. Well, I got 2.
Okay, you got 2 out of 3. Don't be sad, because 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I think this is... I'm trying to look at my scores. This is by far the least entertainment in a movie. There were movies I've been like, where's the clock going?
Can we step back? What was the Hulk for us? What was our Hulk entertainment?
2.
We gave Hulk a 2.
We gave Hulk a 2.
Keep that in mind, people. Hulk got a 2. Brendon, what is your entertainment score for this?
I want to point out, that's actually not our lowest entertainment. Our lowest is actually Iron Man 2.
What is our entertainment for Iron Man 2?
1.5.
Both of us?
Yes.
Okay, what is your score for entertainment?
0.75.
Yeah?
I'm half as...
I'll go 1.
You're going to go 1?
I'll go 1.
You're being the Thor apologist here. That's usually my job.
It is, but like... Because I did like those scenes. And like, that. Honestly, those were, like... Maybe not all of those, but like definitely the Thor and Loki scene was definitely one I remembered. And I kind of remember the end scene with the teleporting.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wasn't entertained. Natalie Portman takes away from this movie. Every time she comes on screen, the movie just stops.
Yeah. Which you would think, considering she has the Infinity Stone inside of her or whatever. Like
that should be interesting. You've got...
It would drive the movie.
Yeah, that should be interesting. She should be, like, having more freak accidents with this. Or
she should be accidentally shifting reality.
Yeah, she should be, like, changing... Oh, my gosh. Could you imagine,
like how much more interesting it would have been if, like, she's on the Soul Forge. And you could fit comedy into it. Like, she's on that Soul Forge thing or whatever. And then suddenly it all turns to, like, wood or something.
Well, what if, like, she has a nightmare where, like, the Chitauri won, and, like, they're destroying the Earth, and, like, then she wakes up, and, like, it's part of it, and she has to, like, snap and, like, get it, go away, or something like that. There's so many
Oh my... Would have actually been interesting.
0.5 now. You just made it.
No.
I'm more angry at this movie now. Like, there's so many missed opportunities.
Can I go 0.75?
You're going to...
Actually, like, I would have really liked to see that in a movie.
Like, almost like the House of... you know...
House of M?
You're familiar with House of M?
Yeah, House of M is a super... Okay, we usually stick to movies only, not comics.
Because we're not experts in comics, but we know main storylines.
House of M is a really great X-Men based comic book story where a character we haven't met yet in the MCU.
Scarlet Witch. People, if you're watching this, you should know who Scarlet Witch is.
Who can bend reality. Essentially bends reality to grant everyone's wish, and it's this whole like, well, sometimes, you get what you wanted, but not necessarily in a good way. Yeah,
like, I think the one that sticks out to me, I think Captain America gets to live with, it's not Agent Carter in the comics, but, like, the equivalent of Agent Carter and, like, grow old and, like, have a life and do all that.
The one that sticks out to me is Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Gwen Stacy lives.
Yeah, so...
Gwen Stacy lives, and then he has this really...
Wait, you mean Emma Stone's gonna eventually die?
Stop. Yeah, Gwen Stacy lives, and then he gets this really heartbreaking moment of he learns that that's not what happened.
Yeah.
And it's such a good storyline.
And they could have done those kind of storylines even before you introduce Scarlet Witch. And you don't have to do the whole story, but, like, flashes of it. They kind of even do that in Avengers 2, where, like, Thor goes into that pond for some reason and, like, has those kind of visions.
Yeah, like, we're not at Avengers.
I know, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, let's give this thing a decent score with the Lee cameo.
It was kind of funny. It's kind of cute in a way.
I chuckled because, like, he's trying to be so serious, and you look around and he's like, can I have my shoe?
Yeah, Lee's just like, it's not anger. It's just like, can I please have my shoe, sir?
I'll give it above average. I'll give it a 3, so this thing's not a terrible dumpster fire.
I'll give it 2.75.
Okay. You're the Lee apologist here, so.
Look, man, but I have to be strict. The Lee category is kind of my expertise.
Okay, so you think I'm going a little too high with the 3? You think
no? I just have to be critical.
This is the one you're going to be critical on?
I'm Simon Cowell with Lee.
All right, development.
Which I hope I never meet Stan Lee because I don't want to have to be like, he's probably a very nice man, but I have to be cruel with it.
Oh boy.
Development.
How did this develop the MCU?
So what's the lowest we can go?
The lowest we can go. The lowest we've gone.
Lowest. What's the lowest we've gone?
Iron Man 3.5.
0.25.
Okay, we're gonna differ on this. All right,
can we go lower? Wait,
if you want to go 0, we haven't had a 0.
I didn't know 0 was an option.
It's a 0 through 5 scale. That's what the scientists told us.
Throw a 0 on there.
You're throwing a 0 on there.
I thought we could only go 0.25.
All right, explain. Oh my gosh, so many spikes.
Audio spikes.
All right, explain your 0.
Didn't we just with?
I want to hear your whole argument. How? Because we're talking about the development of the MCU.
So the most we learn is that there are there were dark elves, and that another Infinity Stone. Oh, wait, now I'm going to go back on this because we do find another Infinity Stone. 0.25.
Okay.
Another Infinity Stone, which is probably the only development for the MCU.
All right, so here's my argument.
And it's like you said, it's like you were talking about. We lose development because we lose those human characters.
Wow, that's a good point. Okay, so here's where I have 2 main points of development. You brought one up. We have an Infinity Stone now. Yeah. We have 2 of the 5 Infinity Stones. 6. 5. 5. There's 5 Infinity Stones. 2 of the 5 Infinity Stones are now in play.
Wait, now I'm questioning this. Go on.
No, 6. Thanos. Thanos, it's the same number as letters in Thanos.
We're going to go over that after we're done recording. Okay.
Anyway, so we have, let's just say, we'll cut numbers out. We're not mathematicians here.
No.
That's what our scientists do.
Yes.
We have 2 Infinity Stones in play now.
Right.
2 on the table. Do we include the Stinger in this? Do we include the Stinger in our rankings?
No.
Okay, we won't include Stinger. Then here's my other argument. We get Odin out of the play. Odin's out of play. So Odin's removed from Asgard. You'll find out in 3 what happens to him. But he's no longer influencing politics as much. Well, he's not influencing at all. So that changes kind of an aspect of what's Asgard's role in the 9 realms in this universe. So that would be my argument of the 2 developments we got. But you brought up a good point I didn't think of. We go backwards because the human people are gone.
We lose Selvig.
So I don't think Selvig's back that I can remember. Natalie Portman's flat out, besides a mention every now and then, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Unless they do like with Gwyneth Paltrow what they do with Pepper Potts, but I don't think they're going to do that. I mean, Darcy's not coming back. I don't even, Ian, Malcolm, whatever.
Darcy didn't need to be there.
Darcy did not even have to be there. Go work at your diner in New York.
Yeah.
Probably get paid more anyway.
Well, I think she does a TV show.
That's.
Oh, were you referencing that?
It's called Two Broke Girls. They work.
Oh, I don't watch that.
I don't either.
It exists.
I just see commercials when
I
watch
didn't know
football.
it was in New York.
It may very well. I've never watched the show. I just see commercials when I watch football, so I assume that's where it is.
Oh, weird.
So I guess my two major developments: we have an Infinity Stone in play, and we have Odin off the table now. So I was going to go 1, but you kind of talked me. I'm going to go 0.5 because I think the idea that you spent a whole movie trying to develop these characters. And then you just say, okay, they're gone.
Which, I don't know if they probably didn't have that thought at the moment, but it happened.
It happened. Also, like, the Warriors 3 are not developed at all either, and I
Even though they get some cool parts?
I can't talk about Thor 3.
Alright.
So we're going to stop there. So, I'm going... let's hammer it down. Development, I'm going... that's a better joke than half this movie. Alright, so I'm going 0.5 in development. Connor's going 0.25.
Yep.
The scientists have returned.
This is an easy one for him.
This was easy. So I actually had a question I was going to ask you during the review. It's like, which one did you prefer, this or the first Thor? And that was after you done your hero talk where you actually scored higher.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the scores came in. I don't think we need to ask that question anymore.
Yeah.
This is our worst movie in the MCU.
Hey, Hulk got beat.
Yo, I did say, you can quote me on this, when this came in, this is, I think, Hulk's last shot to not be last.
Yeah, you did say that.
I said, I think for the rest of the MCU, Hulk, this was the last shot.
We got
Hulk,
some good movies coming up, so...
And we talked about, like, the thing about Hulk, though, is, like, there's enjoyable scenes in there. The action's well done.
The action
like,
scenes are well done.
There's,
and
like...
this one's, like,
It's so,
Like, the most redeemable thing, I think, in both of our scores is Thor. No, you had higher for Lee.
I was a little higher on... I like Lee in the Thor movies.
Lee has a good Thor cameo.
Can I ask you one quick question when you're doing your scores?
Sure.
When you're doing your scores, are you doing this on a movie? Like, what you would rank a regular movie? I know we're using the SHIELD scale, which is more superhero-based. But are you comparing this to, like, comic book movies? Are you comparing this to every movie? Or are you just...
I just pick random numbers.
Oh,
I just get a mental dartboard and see your mood on the thing and then say, do I want to go higher or lower in this category?
Wow, this
whole podcast is a goof for me.
That actually explains a lot.
I'm kidding. No, I base it off like...
So I'm just saying, are you ranking this compared to any movie you watch? Are you ranking this compared to superhero movies? Or are you ranking this just to Marvel movies?
It depends on the category. Because when I think of heroes and villains, I definitely think of that too. Not only other movies I watch, but other media with them. That includes video games and books and stuff like that. Because I think a hero and villain are so classic to any creative story-based thing that you can kind of compare them. With integrity, it is definitely to other movies. Entertainment's to that specific movie. Because you can kind of get, when you're watching a movie, I had fun watching this.
I guess if I want to boil my question down a little more, like most people use the 0 through 5 star to rank movies. Okay. We're using a 0 through 5 scale.
Right.
Is Thor: The Dark World a 1-star movie to you?
Yeah.
You think?
I think this would be a 1-star. And the only reason it gets the 1-star is because I like the characterization of Thor.
Okay.
In this movie, and that's probably about it.
Okay, I'm trying to think, like, I kind of take the same thing with you. I'm comparing, like, depends on the category, where I'm rating the movie. I'm just trying, I find it hard, like, when I came in, it's like, I know this is not a great movie, but to say it's a 1-star movie, like, but that's what the great thing about numbers, they don't lie.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I think both of us kind of unspokenly go in saying, like, we gotta go in with a clean slate. Like, we know how this movie is, generally, but we are watching it again for the first time.
And sometimes we get some pleasant surprises, but then...
Iron Man 3 was a pleasant surprise, I think, grand scheme of things.
Grand scheme of things, I think we enjoyed that more.
I went in thinking, like, oh man, Iron Man 3 has a reputation of being bad, but I enjoyed it.
Like, I think the Hulk, we were a little...
never saw it before.
But even though it was bad, like, it was, like, surprising, like, some of the good things. Yeah. I know Captain America, you were very surprised, like, rewatching that.
I remember kind of giving it a hard time, and now I'm wondering why I did.
Yeah, so So we try and go with a clean slate, but it was hard with this one. So
Yeah.
But like I said, the world is darkest before the dawn.
Yes.
Because we got a good one next week.
Well, what is our next movie?
Well, we go get the Man in the Shield back again. Because we gotta bring Bucky back.
Bring it. Oh my god! Why? Marvel, you goofed again. Captain America 2 bringing Bucky back would have been way better than the Winter Soldier. I would have known who it's about. Who's the Winter Soldier? No one knows.
You spiked like 8 times there.
I know, but I got excited. No, yeah. Who's the Winter Soldier? No one cares. Bringing Bucky back, I know I'm in for a Bucky-themed adventure.
But we do get Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Just quick impressions. What's your memory of that movie? Because I don't want to talk about Thor anymore.
Yeah, fair enough. I remember thinking... You were excited for it, I remember that. And I didn't know what it was going to be going in. And then watching it, it was kind of a nice... Sort of a spy... Not spy thriller, but like... What am I thinking of?
Political?
Political,
espionage? I don't know.
Not controversy. What is it when, like, paranoid people have them? Conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
It was a good, like, kind of conspiracy film.
So I'm gonna go on a limb here.
Okay.
This was, and I'll have to think, this might still be, if not my favorite, my second favorite Marvel movie.
Is the other one the first Captain America?
No, it is not that.
Okay. Okay.
So I have to like really like dig deep, but I remember for the longest time, I'm a huge Captain America defender as it is.
Yeah.
And I'll make an argument. I'm gonna go on a limb here. I don't want to go on that limb.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna still go on this limb. The Captain America trilogy is a top 3 movie trilogy
Of, like, overall with other movies?
of all time.
Oh, man, you and these all-time claims. All right. Well, we'll see next week, I guess.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tune in. We got some good ones coming up soon. So.
Yeah, I'm excited for the 2 back-to-back weeks.
Oh, don't spoil it yet.
I'm not.
We gotta hook them.
The hook.
It's all about the hook.
Beat that hook. All right.
I want to thank the Couch Gnomes again for the precious YouTube space they give us every single week to have us ramble on for an hour to an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. Thanks for that. We do a lot of cool stuff on the YouTube channel. We're always trying new stuff. This was the product of us trying new stuff. We stream on Twitch every Friday. It's usually start around 6 or 6:30 and go into like 8 or 8:30. Sometimes we go longer. We do a lot of cool stuff for actually our friends. If you haven't been paying attention, we did a lot of cool stuff with Princeton Digital Media. They do Game of Honor, a show that me, Kanai, and Danny are all in.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where can I see this?
You could go to Princeton Digital Media at youtube.com. And Game of Honor, they release 1 episode a month, I believe. I was in this past month's episode. It's my intro.
Oh, man.
It's my intro. My stepping into the spotlight. We did a teaser for it a while ago. That was fun. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are on YouTube and Twitch. We have an Instagram. I don't look at it. Danny, can I look at it?
Listen, there's only 2 social medias that matter to us.
Yeah, that's the
Get on the tube.
And get on the book.
Get on the book. And we really want you guys to start messing. We'd love to hear back from you guys.
Please give us more Lee cameos. Like, we have... That's probably one of my favorite parts of the podcast.
If you're
when we
rewatching...
try to make new Lee cameos.
If you rewatching movie... Even if, like, you're just starting this... Well, I don't know why you'd be on this episode. But if you're just starting and you're like, oh, I just thought of a good one for Captain America, message it on the video. We want to know good cameos.
That updates. We can see it. It's always fun.
Because we haven't had a ton of good ones. But we're always willing to take ideas.
Absolutely.
And if you disagree with something, if you think we're totally wrong bombing this movie and this is the greatest movie in your eyes, I want to laugh at you first. But then I also want to hear your opinion. Like, let's get a debate going on this.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. All right. So next week, Captain America: Winter Soldier.
We'll catch you later.
See ya.